Solidarity. My name is Donna Walker-Kuhn, and thank you. I guess I know a few people here. Uh, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm honored to present tonight's world premiere of the film Set Her Free, Exposing the Trauma to Prison Pipeline, which, as you know, focuses on women and the incarceration system, followed by a provocative discussion of incredible panelists. We also have the filmmaker here this evening as well, but all of them are going to share their experiences and their passion and their hearts. In acknowledgement of Women's History Month, Standing in Solidarity conversations will certainly address some of these concerns we have that women have endured. Today's event is produced by women at NJPAC, who for the past 5 years have presented amazing programs in honor of Women's History Month for Standing in Solidarity. This social justice series is part of our long-term initiative in collaboration with our producer, Katab Rollins. Yes, clap it up for Katab. And the purpose of this series is to bring our community together and to encourage everyone to take part in the movement to ensure civil rights for all. On our website, you can find archived prior social justice panel discussions, as well as resources that will help you to take action. We're also happy to have as our advisors the Newark NAACP, the New Jersey Institute for Social Justice, Newark Arts, the Africana Institute at Essex County College, Asian American Arts Alliance, ACLU New Jersey, and our newest advisors are the Newark Office of Film and Television and Eyes Like Mine. NJPAC would like to offer a land acknowledgement. The language we're using was created with consultation and guidance from Chief Dwayne Perry of the Rampopo Munsee Lenape tribe and Oleana Whispering Dove of the Eastern Salagi Algonquin descendants, and we're grateful to them for their generosity, wisdom, and labor to craft these words. We, the Lenape, original benefactors of land once ripened and cultivated with attentiveness to the Creator and her ascendancy, express everlasting gratitude to our Creator for the traditional ancestral jurisdictions of the Munsee, Esopus, Canarsie, Capsee, Werparois, Siwanoy, and Weekasqueak, jointly known today as the Rampopo and Nanticoke Lene Lenape. Let this, our land acknowledgement, be the beginning of our return to unity. Let us be guardians of the water, the air, and the earth, the four-legged, the flyers, the swimmers, the crawlers, the mammal people, and the green. Let us now stand lifting our humanity, enrapturing with Earth's consciousness as guardians of harmony and kindness. I would like to thank our corporate sponsor. Since 2014, PSEG Foundation have partnered with NJPAC to pair screenings of socially engaged films with thoughtful talks featuring activists, artists, academics, journalists, and other experts. We're extremely grateful for their ongoing support. We're also deeply appreciative of the support from the North Jersey chapter of the Lynx. Thank you so much, Lynx. So now, please help me welcome Rhonda McLean Richard, President of Women at NJPAC. Rhonda.
Good evening. Hi. Again, my name is Rhonda McFarland Richard, and I am proud to be the president of Women of NJPAC. It's a pleasure to welcome you here today on this very important night to get some significant information about our impacted community. Again, I'm the president of this illustrious organization, and if you're not already familiar with Women at NJPAC, we are a dynamic community of women that we call the Sisterhood for Good, that galvanize around transforming lives through the arts education, arts and well-being, and broader social impact work of NJPAC. Just to ground you in who we are, over the past 30 years, this remarkable community has raised more than $60 million in support of the Arts Center's social impact work. That work is exactly why we're so pleased to be co-producing tonight's free screening in celebration of Women's History Month. And I'm especially grateful to all of the Women at NJPAC members and trustees who are here with us this evening. In fact, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our trustees, past and present. If you're here, please raise your hand, wave, say hello. Get a little energy, yes. Thank you. We will also hear from one of our incredible trustees, Helen Archanto, soon, who will be moderating the panel film coming up soon. If being in this room and being part of moments like this is important to you, we invite you to join us. Just for today and today only, you can become a member of Women of NJPAC for a 20% discount toward a year-long membership. That's special, y'all. Christine Gonzalez is here somewhere this evening and would be happy to connect with you. And actually, there's a special gift for you tonight as well. So you're getting double gifts. What being a member of Women of NJPAC really means is access to priority and signature events like the Spring Luncheon, which is sold out. But if you were a member, you'd have gotten an early invitation, and you might be there. And being part of having early access to some of our new programming, one of which is our Lunch and Learns. Our first one was on AI. It was phenomenal. There's one coming up soon that is on arts and how arts help to heal us. So it's arts and well-being. And you'll also receive other discounts at Nico, the restaurant, et cetera. But more importantly, it connects you to impactful work like we are here to receive today. Women in NJPAC is proud to be one of the founding sponsors of NJPAC's Art and Wellbeing Initiative. That is work that lives at the intersection of art and health in hospitals, in communities, and through New Jersey's first prescriptive arts program. One of the programs we're especially proud to support is Rituals for Return. Come on, clap. Rituals for Return is a 12-week homecoming program for citizens returning to the community after incarceration. Created by Kevin Bott, who is here today. Kevin, can you raise your hand? There he is. The program uses theater, mindfulness, practices, drumming, movement, mask making, and storytelling to support individuals in addressing and overcoming the dehumanizing effects of incarceration. And tonight, you'll have the opportunity to hear directly from that work. It's my pleasure to introduce Myrna Diaz, who will share a poem with us. Please join me in welcoming Myrna.
I was 40 years old. I was a mom to two beautiful teenage boys. I'd just gotten married for the second time. I felt so hopeful about the next chapter in my life. And on September 11, 2001, I worked for Merrill Lynch in 4 World Trade Center.
Phone rings.
Actually, on 9/11, I wasn't working for them because, for no reason but other than a whim, I decided to play hooky on that day. But this phone keeps ringing. Hello? What? Oh my God.
TV.
I couldn't believe what was happening. I was watching a whole world I knew on TV. I was a character in that scene, There's the restaurant I used to go to. That's where I get my coffee every single morning. But I'm not there. I wasn't there. Oh, and on the phone, it was my kids' school. My boys were freaking out. They wanted to know if I was okay. They wanted to know that they had not lost their mother. But soon enough, they did lose her. And before long, it was me who would be waiting to receive their calls. It would be me calling them on the phone, hoping and praying that they would pick up.
Phone rings. You have a collect call from an inmate in the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility. Will you accept the charges?
Hello, Mikey. Hi, sweetheart. What's going on? How was your day today? Did you do your homework? Mm-hmm. Is your brother there? Mikey has been there. Can I talk to your brother? Oh, okay.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Okay, I love you. I love you, Mikey. I love you both. Have a good night, son. I love you. Wait. Good night, my son. You must be so confused. You must be asking yourself, what does 9/11 have to do with me being a prison inmate? Well, I'm going to tell you something that can happen to people who survive a catastrophe. A survivor can come to feel like she should have been there. She feels responsible. She feels, I feel, I can't explain it, like I have to suffer. That my suffering is a way to show that I haven't forgotten or abandoned them. My coworkers, the man who gave me coffee every morning, all 2,976 people who died when those two airplanes hit those buildings. Why not 2,977? What sound does loss make? No sound, just distorted rage, hidden in silence. What are you doing? Leave me alone. I got survivor's remorse and I am self-medicating. Why? You've got everything. A new home, a new job, 2 beautiful sons, because I shouldn't even be alive. Why didn't I go to work that day? Why didn't I get on that train that day? People I loved were there, good people, people who loved me. There was Mary, there was John, there was Eric. I was in prison because I was filled with an unexplainable shame. And the way I decided to escape those feelings of shame was with drugs and cocaine. I became me, a 40-year-old woman with 2 beautiful boys, me, a newlywed who had never been connected in any way to the criminal justice system, a full-fledged drug addict. I survived 9/11, but I did not want to live. I was reckless, challenging life, testing fate, putting myself in situations where just take me, just end this pain. And that's ultimately how I got caught up with the people who committed the crime that led me to get a sentence of 40 years in the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility. I'm going to tell you some true things. I have no reasons to lie. I did not do the thing I was accused of doing. The system literally made up a lie that I had masterminded a murder. I didn't. In fact, the man they killed was a good friend and a good man. He got killed because my dealer wanted to control me and got extremely upset when he saw me with this man. I was beaten by officers during my interrogation. I was raped by a correctional officer in the county jail. My Project Freedom defender was practicing without a license in the county jail. My first attorney got arrested during my indictment for being crooked. He was murdering the competition. Literally, he was having witnesses murdered. You can't make this up. My second attorney does nothing. While I was on the witness stand, I saw a jury member who slept through my entire trial, and nothing was done. There was no justice served. The system is built on lies. Catastrophe comes out of the clear blue sky. Impact, crash, and burn. They gave me 40 years. Prison is scary, hardcore. For God's sakes, I was tech support at Merrill Lynch. I wasn't supposed to be there. I had already served 4 years at county, but Edna was serious. But the very first week I was inside the state prison, there was a music therapy concert performed by the women. A young woman named Barbara Clark sang a song. Barbara, who, on the outside, 2 years after her release, couldn't handle the pain and died of an overdose. Back then, at the concert, Barbara sang a song to her sons. And it just broke me. I knew I needed to purge everything out of my system, out of my life, and out of my soul. I knew that my kids deserved so much more. And I did not want to be nothing to them. That's the moment, that song, Barbara's song, I started my life over. I went to church and made that community my new life. I went back to school, worked in the kitchen, gave out bread to the women, cleaned, painted. I went to addiction groups for my healing. I started changing my life. I chose to be good, to follow the rules and not break them, because it would have been easy. You can get high anytime you want in prison. Street drugs, synthetic drugs, liquor, everything and anything. I did not want to die like that in that place. I spent almost 2 decades fighting my charge because I wasn't going to die in a lie. And the system is a liar. And let me say that again. The system is a liar. You cannot survive it without loss. And let me be clear, I take full responsibility for all my actions, for being there, for getting high, for being a shitty mom. There's so many women in prison. All have their own tragedies that steal their lives. Then they're punished for the traumas inflicted upon them. We don't have a society that will take these girls and help them. They're sexually abused, suffer incest, are raped. You may see the light in their eyes when they're little girls. I have seen the aftermath, that hardening, that armor, that childhood that gets stolen. Life gets stolen. We lose, we go in. If only someone had stepped forward. We lose, we get out. If only someone would step forward now. We all need rescuing. From catastrophes no one sees or pretends not to see. Many women behind bars are actually innocent. That's the truth. Many women behind bars committed crimes. That's the truth. But to say they're criminals without knowing the catastrophe, that's a lie. The system is a liar, and I am not. My name, thank you very much, everyone. My name is Myrna Diaz. I received clemency December 2024 after doing 18 years of incarceration. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Myrna, for your honesty, your passion, and we're so glad you're here. Thank you. So now, let's see the film, Set Her Free. And this was executive produced by Newark native, Dr. Jamila Davis, who's here with us, and you'll hear from her on the panel. Please enjoy the film, and then we'll begin the panel following. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you. So I just want to acknowledge and recognize that this was a heavy film, right? It had moments. And I just want to thank you all for being here tonight to share this moment with us. And I also want to say that whatever you may be feeling right now, whatever you may be feeling, it's okay. It's okay. There is no right or wrong. You may feel heavy. You may feel quiet. You may feel nothing at all. And you may feel a lot, but it's all valid, all of it. So I'd like to invite you just for a minute. Just close your eyes, just for a minute. Feel yourself in your seat. Feel your feet on the floor. Ground yourself. Ground yourself in this moment and validate those feelings because it's okay. It's okay. I want you to take a breath, breathe in, breathe out. Don't rush it. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel. Feel. Know that it's okay to feel. And if there's anything that this film might have brought up in you, any feeling, any thought, any discomfort, exhale. Exhale it out. Just exhale it out. You don't have to process everything right now. And you don't have to have answers. And it's okay to take your time. It's okay. And I want you, I would like for you to not leave here tonight carrying heaviness. But I would like for you to carry two things. One is compassion. Compassion for yourself and compassion for others. And the other one is awareness. Be very aware. Validate that. But know that you matter and we appreciate you. And this village here tonight, we're going to leave here tonight with love and in love. Good night.
Thank you. Okay, that film, Jamila, unbelievable. So 2 things I want to do before I bring up our moderator and the panel. First, I'd like to acknowledge Governor McGreevey, who is here. Please stand, Governor. He was here. I want to thank him for his support. And if there are any other elected officials in the room, we'd like to acknowledge you as well. But thank you very much. The second thing I wanted to say, I wanted to thank all of the resource tables that we have out in the lobby. I know it's crowded and maybe you didn't get to see all of them, but I wanted to just make sure you know that we had some incredible organizations. I'm going to name them very briefly. Okay, so we had WBGO Radio, we have NAACP, we have the YWCA Northern New Jersey, Sierra House, Shani, Barsha Women's Resource Center. Right, you know. Okay, thank you. And the New Jersey Division on Civil Rights, and of course the NJPAC membership table. So I want to thank all of those organizations for coming to help share what they do. So thank you. Now I'd like to introduce our moderator. Our moderator is Helen Arcantu, and Helen is no stranger to NJPAC or moderating panels and providing important resources for our various programs. Just a bit about Helen. Her journey has been defined by resilience and adaptability. Her career in the public and nonprofit sectors reflect that same tenacity. Since 2011, Helen has served as CEO of the YWCA Northern New Jersey, where she's led the organization through multiple transformations to ensure its mission continues to meet the evolving needs of racial justice, gender equity, and community advocacy. Under her leadership, the YWCA has expanded its reach, earned national recognition, including a transformative $3 million grant from philanthropist Mackenzie Scott in 2020. Helen has taught at Montclair State University School of Social Work since 2005 and coaches fellow nonprofit CEOs across the state. Helen is also a part of our Women at NJPAC, Montclair Community Farms, and Let's Talk About Wellness. She's also a published author. Helen, welcome and thank you. Thank you. This one? I think I'm good. You good? Okay.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. As you heard, I'm Helen Arcantu. My pronouns are she, her. And although I am also the proud CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, I'm also the great honor to be a board member of the Women of NJPAC and the vice president, one of the vice presidents. I also just want to say that the Women of NJPAC take great pride in supporting this film this evening. And we knew it was an important film, and I can see from the amount of people in this room that you knew it too. So we're just so grateful that you all took the time to be here in community with us today so that we can wrap around our sisters this evening. And so with that, I also just want to say quickly too that I was here yesterday with Senator Booker as he launched his book tour. And, you know, I walked out of his call to action yesterday being reminded that, you know, we the people are we, the people. And I think that that was so evident in this film. And what you all did is you just reminded us the power of our voices. So I'm so proud of all of you and what you did, and would love to invite the panel to come up here and join me. And I'll thank you. And I will introduce them in one moment. I just want to say to all of you that, again, we knew that this evening was so important to show this film, and tonight is about listening and learning and lifting our voices into action. And I just want to also say that we know that when women are returning into our communities, that our systems were really never designed to be able to support them. And it is so important to have this type of advocacy so that we can look at housing and employment and education and healthcare and childcare systems so that these systems start to be more responsive. And as we were planning the panel, I shared a story of what happened at the YWCA when we were funded to start our reentry program. And I wanted to share it with all of you because one of our goals for this evening is that each of you leave with a call to action about what you can do to be supportive. And when we were so grateful to get the funding through NJ Lead for our program, and we went to hire our staff, I was cautioned, we were interviewing, and I was cautioned because the person that I wanted to hire did have a reentry background, had come out of the system. And I was told, we shouldn't hire somebody who has, this background. And, my answer was, we take chances on every single employee that we hire in this organization. So why shouldn't we take a chance on our team member here that we ended up hiring and have had a wonderful employee as a result of. And so I share that story just to say that we all have a place and space here. And I hope as you're listening to tonight's conversation and you're listening to our panelists here that you're thinking about where yours is. And so with that, let me introduce you to our panelists. And I guess I will start from the furthest. We have Senator Angela McKnight of the 31st Legislative District. Who is a leading voice in reentry and a champion for equity, reflects clearly reflects the kind of leadership that continues to open meaningful pathways for justice-involved individuals across New Jersey. And we couldn't be more lucky to have her where she is. Also, we're so grateful to have with us Dr. Jamila Davis, who is the executive producer of Set Her Free. She is a powerful voice and educator whose lived experience fuels her mission to uplift women impacted by incarceration and dismantle the systems and the cycles that hold them back. Also, we have with us Cass Severe, who is the founder of Meet Me at the Gate. Oh, Meet Her. I'm sorry, I'm putting Meet Me. It is Meet Her at the Gate. She is a fellow social worker. And her leadership and commitment to reentry support are helping to reshape what meaningful second chances look like in practice. And again, that's Meet Her at the Gate. Yes. And Dr. Darcella Sessoms, who is Chief of Programs. And Retention Services for the State of New Jersey Department of Corrections, a dedicated advocate whose work uplifts returning citizens and strengthens the communities that they come home to. She's also an elected official herself, and I believe a pastor? Yes, if I'm remembering all of your roles from the years. So we are in good hands here with all of our panelists. So Dr. Davis, we're just gonna start with a very simple question. What was the impetus to make you create this film? Obviously, you had a lived experience, but everyone doesn't take that and do this with it.
I really have to say it's God. I was invited into Edna Mayhem facility through Nafisa Goldsmith actually introduced me to the commissioner. And I came and I met with the women, and I was doing work with school students, but I never got a chance to go back into the prison. And something happened when I was there. And I saw the stories of so many women that were stuck, warehoused with these draconian sentences, and they had no way of getting out. And I promised God, I said, God, now, if you let me on out my situation, I'm going to let you use me. So this is what this film was all about, really just letting him have his way. And as you guys see, from start to finish, we couldn't even make this up. Like, we really have a film where legislation was passed, like, while we're creating a documentary, right? So we know that it was his hand, his grace, and it was really to set our sisters free and to give them a second chance at life.
And if I understand the story correctly, you had to recut the film because the story.
Because it
the
was
ending,
over. We
yes.
thought it was over for the first part, and then God said no. And not only did he say no, we just got this bill passed. I don't know if you guys know, January, moments before Governor Murphy left office, like literally moments. I was talking to her while she's at the inauguration of all right, is it gonna happen, right? And it happened, and that's what I'm talking about, literally the hand of God moving, and you can't make this up. And I know even today, y'all, I fought to get here. People in this room, y'all are here for a reason. We're about to have a conversation and an encounter. God is with us, and he's in the building.
So obviously the film touched on this, but I'd like to ask you and also Cass to share a little bit about what do you wish more people understood about the realities of incarceration and the realities for reentry women? I mean, there's a lot of people in this room who are here because they want to learn and want to help. What is our misconceptions and preconceived notions?
I think that people think that we are mistakes. We made a mistake. That doesn't mean that we are a mistake. I live my life as an example to show others that change is possible. If you give us resources, if you give us opportunities like you did the person who filled out the application, we can make you proud. I'm actually here in the city of Newark, and Mayor Ross J. Baraka gave me an opportunity that changed my entire life, right? So when you give people opportunities, they can change. But if you let us free and you don't give us any resources and any opportunities to better ourselves, then we'll stay stuck. So I just think this conversation is a confirmation for some that are sitting here that we can change.
Most women didn't wake up and choose crimes. We've been surviving way before the crime started, surviving from abuse, surviving from violence, some of us poverty, some of us abandonment, and we weren't ready for the system before we even entered it. Circumstances shaped our outcomes based on the cards that were dealt for some of us. And then you have a woman that's now incarcerated and you only see her charge. You don't see what led her there. And then you expect her to come home and just be ready to rock and roll and just move forward with no housing. She doesn't know where she's gonna get her next meal from. She doesn't even have a ride to her parole officer. She doesn't have mental health support. She's on survival mode. And the biggest part of that is not having the healing. And so that's the reality, you know, if those things aren't provided and there's no grace or gentleness given during that time, things can go left and continue to go left. So that's definitely something that I feel like folks don't understand when they see a woman coming home. They're like, what would she do? You know, what didn't protect her? So those are the questions that get overlooked. And so that's, in my opinion, the misunderstanding that I've been through, and some of my sisters could equate to the same thing.
So we hear so often about transformation coming through pain, through purpose. So what are some of the strategies that you have seen to help women break the cycles of incarceration and reclaim and, you know, rewrite their future?
So for me, it's just giving women opportunities. So I've been blessed, and as I understand, I'm a vessel, and my blessings are not just for me, it's for others. So for me, I help to employ people when they get home from prison or get out of bad situations, and that employment for many of them is life-changing. And then the work that we do is meaningful work. So it keeps us grounded in our mission, in our why. So it keeps us focused and staying on the right track.
Cass?
It's not just one thing. It's a continuum of support. It's an alignment of care. It's being able to start the work inside. You know, the pre-release work is vital. We don't wait until 6 months before we get released to start planning and thinking and then being honest to ourselves. You know, we have to start that work as soon as we get in. I mean, granted, there's trauma, the realization that I'm here, you don't want to really believe that this is your circumstance, but you're going to have to start processing it, and you're going to have to lean on your higher power as well. I feel that once that happens, then you meet the sister at the gate. You don't just open the door for her. You literally have her hands out waiting for her when she walks out that gate, and then you provide immediate, tangible support, you know, welcome home package, you know, just love up on them, give them a ride, you know, ask them what the next steps are, you know, how are they getting to where they have to get to that night, because that's important. And then we do real wraparound support afterwards. It doesn't just end at the gate. You know, it has to be, it's multifaceted. You need a call at night. You need a accountability partner the next day. How are you getting to your placement? You know, what employment looks like. How can I help you fill out an application? You know, how can I break some cycles and say your name in places that you're not there yet? You know, can I hire her? you're making not cold handoffs. You're actually holding that sister's hand while she is navigating those first couple days and beyond.
I know I was so struck when I first met you about the name of your organization, Meet Her at the Gate. I mean, it couldn't be more fitting for what's needed. Can you talk to us a little bit about the, and you kind of started to touch on some of the work that your organization does, but when you think about, meeting her at the gate, what does it look like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? What is needed at each step of the way for women, and where can we step in and be supportive on each of those steps along the way?
The first 30 days is survival. It's those core, like the Maslow hierarchy of needs, like where am I sleeping? What am I eating? How do I get to parole? Who do I call if I'm starting to fall apart? Because it's so heavy. So the 30 days is really surviving and making sure that the basic needs are met. And then 60 days, it starts to become like sustainability. How do I keep this up? How do I continue to manage the transformation I'm trying to do? And how do I manage family triggers? Because they're coming home to hurt people that haven't reconciled what you've done. And they can't yet conceptualize that harm, and you're dealing with all that and trying to navigate the family nucleus where most of the harm might have started from. 90 days is really that identity, who am I now, and am I still surviving or am I thriving, and you have to kind of weigh out who's supporting you, who's not. You have to do a lot of pivoting. You're gonna have to really understand that some doors aren't gonna open, and if it doesn't, how do you handle that? And just really, it's not about the programs per se, it's really about the people. You have to have that community that really, really believes in you so you can start really believing in yourself, because shadow work is real. And if I didn't have my tribe, recidivism would have kept on continuing. So community is vital.
Are there any other key milestones? I know I said 30, 60, 90. I mean, are there any other key milestones along the way?
I think it's a continual journey, right? I just saw Dawn leave. I'm like, hold on, I got something for you. But Dawn and Denise, these are folks that just came home. Sister Myrna, they're still going through it. And especially that when you get older, trying to find employment is almost, in the box, they say you don't check the box, but they still run a criminal background check. So that alleviates folks out the game. And I just don't think people understand how hard it is to make it without a job or income coming in. So that is really, really the key. And one of the things I am working to do is create a trauma-informed care workforce to be able to hire more of these individuals so when they come home, they don't just have to sit and figure it out, that they actually have a source of income coming in. But that's a real place, y'all. Folks really can't eat. And you don't get the regular benefits. You can't get the housing because now you can't be a part of the housing anymore because you have a criminal record. It's almost virtually impossible to survive without family support or friends. So we really need to revisit what that looks like as far as care for our sisters and brothers who come home.
And there's one of the big calls to action right there. If you are an employer, if you are connected to someone who's an employer, this is where you take what you've learned here today and make sure you integrate it into a conversation, put it on your social media post. I mean, this is where you spread the word that, you can be part of the solution here. So thank you. So, Dr. Sessoms, I know that people talk about evolutions that happen in systems, and of course, those of us who have been working and doing this work know that what you have led was not an evolution, but a revolution. You have really changed our system in every way and continue to evolve it. In just the short time that the YWCA of Northern New Jersey has had a program, I've just seen it over the last, 3 to 4 years, even in that time, and I know you were already at it before then. So tell us a little bit about the unique challenges that women face that often go unseen or unaddressed in traditional programs. And also, can you tell us about your philosophy? Because clearly, the change that we have here in New Jersey didn't just happen. You happened, and you created it. And I think that it's important for us to know that because, again, the idea here is a call to action, so you want to see behaviors you can model. And, I'd love for you to tell us about that.
Well, thank you, and good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to be on this panel with these amazing women. So rarely am I at a loss for words because I'm known for speaking, but I had to just take it in for a moment. So, and thank you for that compliment. As a revolutionary, I greet you in the spirit of Harriet Tubman and Shirley Chisholm, my sheroes who my foundation is built on. Harriet, as a liberator, it has been said that Harriet went back 13 times to free others. And so you come with the spirit of wanting, when you experience true liberation, you want to liberate everybody, right? And so I approach this work with that philosophy, having been liberated, having dealt with my own traumas. Why wouldn't I want that for my sisters, including those who are incarcerated, because they still are our sisters. So my work is rooted in that philosophy because I see the benefit. You cannot send women home broken. Okay, because first and foremost, we are the foundation of the family. And quite honestly, I can't send women home healed to broken partners either. But that's not this forum. Well, when you have the one for the men, we'll get on that one. And so when I took over the role that I have in corrections, one of the things I knew, I didn't need anybody to tell me that we needed to address trauma in women. That's just the free space on the bingo card. It's right there in the center. I knew this. And I knew that prior to, Edna Mahan's been open since 1913. That number is significant for me, if you know why. And no one thought to address trauma. And that was just unacceptable. So COVID proved very beneficial for me at that time because I was able to make some real power moves in my position. And I said, you know what? Now's the time. We're going to step out on faith and we're going to do this. And I finally was able to build a team that understood trauma in women. And we put together the first series of programs because everybody will tell you, watch this, we got trauma-informed care. Trauma-informed care is a social construct. It is not a program. It is not delivering the work. It only speaks to your philosophy about trauma. And so when you really put the programs in place, that's going to have them sit in that circle and sit in that space and deal with those issues that we saw the women in the video dealing with molestation when you were 5, dealing with the hurt and disappointment that you told your mother that he was doing this, and your mother did not believe you or didn't do anything about that. Those are just some of the snippets of the trauma work that we had to really have the women dig deep in the prison and sit with. And it has made a tremendous impact in NJDOC.
And you funded so many programs out in the community. I mean, actually, NJPAC has the Rituals for Return program that is also funded by
I got
NJ
funded too.
You got funded.
I just realized.
I want to say that.
All three of you sitting up here, I have given you money to do this work.
One of our funders.
Yes.
It just hit me. But
But-
there are other NJ Lead funded partners out there in
Yes.
the community. And when you have me, I will explain what NJ Lead is.
Yes. Well, let's chat with Senator McKnight first, and then we'll come back to that. Yeah, I know, we're all, and you know, Senator McKnight has a nonprofit herself called Angela Cares, and I have to say, we're so grateful, and we know you care because only someone who cares would have helped bring this over the finish line, and we know how special you are, and we're grateful for you. So obviously you've been a powerful advocate for justice-involved individuals. So what else needs to be done here? Obviously, we pushed this over the finish line, but you know, what else is needed so that we know that our justice-impacted women really have a chance for stability when they get home?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I left Trenton, had a voting session, so that's why I got here late, but by the grace of God, I got here to see the video. This is my second time seeing it, and I watched it, and there were some things that I didn't catch the first time that I caught the second time, so I need to watch it again. So the ladies up here already spoke about so much. The first thing, well, the second thing is to start within, right? When they are incarcerated, we need to start the work. But prior to a woman being incarcerated, when a woman tells you or go to you, reach out to the police or call a DV organization or call their pastor or call whomever, that is the time when we need to look and begin to help. Yes. Right now, I'm dealing with a constituent who had to just leave her 4 children because of her significant other. He hasn't hit her yet. This is what she said, is verbal and emotional. So she just left her children, and she is staying in a shelter. But she's called different agencies, and she still need help. Right. She lost her job because she's a federal worker. So she's part of the 350,000 black women who lost their job. So when she lost her job, the income left. When the income left, she couldn't afford her rent, and then she got evicted. So she had to go and move back with her partner. But then she ran out and left her children. And today, she met with DIFUS because the school called DIFUS. So she texts me, and I have to call her when I get out of here, but I text her like, I'm going to call you. She needs permanent housing. Right. She needs permanent housing. This woman left her children because of the partner. So when we talk about what else is needed, when someone comes to you, we need those resources. We need to cut the red tape. Because why these organizations can't help her? Number one, lack of funding. More funding, I will say. We need more funding. Number two, believe her. Believe her. She left her children. I don't even want to know what she's going through right now. But she does not want to be harmed. But she does not have a place for her children. So I'm praying that I can get her some resources. And then if someone gets in prison, we need to begin to help. I know Dr. Davis, she has programs that she has developed when she was incarcerated, and now she's helping people. And as a state, we need to contract with her. We need to contract with Cass and others because they know the work. They understand. Some women won't pour into you because they may feel like they're being judged. But when women have had that same card, they understand. And for us who don't understand, we need to use empathy. Right. We need to use compassion. So from a state perspective, we need to pour more money into this trauma-informed, but we need to give the money to organizations that are actually doing the work. Because there are many organizations They are getting the money, the millions of dollars, and the work is not getting done. But when you
see
have
them eyes in the
grassroots organizations here, they can't even get $1,000. And they know how to do the work. So cutting back the red tape, and I appreciate you, doctor, for cutting back the red tape and giving these women money to help other women. And then we need to cut the red tape on when they come out and say, I need help. We need to be able to give them housing. We need to be able to give them health care. We need to be able to do expungements. And that's another piece of legislation that Governor Murphy signed that we fought for. Because if you're out and you can't get a job because your record, you can't get housing. So you know the word exception, we need to have exceptions to the rule due to the mitigating factors that now the judges are using to get these women released.
Yes, please.
So thank you, Senator, because you and I spoke about this when we were on the Zoom call, and I have a big aversion for the fact that there are too many organizations out there getting large dollars, state dollars, and are not doing the work. Let's just call it out. They are not doing the work, and they're not doing the work in the communities that need the work done. We're on social media telling everybody how we're doing the work. We are pimping people's pain, but we're not doing the work. So, and quite frankly, that was the fire in my belly that caused me to start NJ Lead. So real quick, NJ Lead was a concept that got birthed during the COVID. As you know, during COVID, the state released thousands of people from the state correctional facility because of the public health emergency credits and da-da-da-da-da. But when we let folks out of prison, they were going home to communities where the few community-based organizations that were there, they were already oversaturated. And they weren't getting the big dollars that organization such and such was getting, but yet they were doing the work, and they're the community-based organizations where the people from prison are actually going to go to them first because they're from their community. That angered me. So I wrote a proposal, sent it over to the governor's office at the time. I said, we have to do better. The governor gave me $3 million. Took that $3 million, and I made it very clear. If you give the money to the Department of Corrections, because we're not always the bad guy, I will give it all to the community. We will not keep one dime, and we did not keep one dime of that money. We gave it all to community-based organizations, the little ones, right? The new ones that just formulated, the ones that are headed by justice-impacted folks, because we knew that they could be boots on the ground. I had the fan. Boots on the ground and could do the work. First year was amazing. Second year, I didn't even write a proposal. They gave me $7 million. We have not kept any of that money in the New Jersey Department of Corrections. We didn't buy no boots for officers. The money went to the community, which is why 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 agencies in this room have gotten funded. But we couldn't do that without supported elected officials like the senator, who make sure that we continue to get this
Senator,
money.
get them some more money, Senator.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yes, but budget hearings are coming up, Senator, so just remember these folks in the room that are doing the work. And so that was the catalyst, is that you can't fund big-time organizations that are afraid to go into the neck where I come from.
Well, I'm glad that you shared about NJ Lead, because that's exactly what I was going to ask you to do. And we know that New Jersey is really leading the charge on this work and really setting the pace. We see Oklahoma and other states that are watching, what we're doing and mimicking it. And I also know they're handing out some papers in case anyone in the audience has a question. But as they're collecting that, my question for all of you is for us to think about. We've got the organizations, we've got the employers, we have everyday residents, sitting here that are here because they want to support our returning citizens and they want to help reduce the barriers. Tell us, what does true empowerment look like? And how can we continue to help, in this space, no matter how we identify and where we come from?
So I just want to level set again about the power of storytelling. First of all, I want to acknowledge every single person who used their story for us to create change, right? So, like, shout out. We got Oren in the building. That's Natasha's son. And the other sisters, a few of them have left. But it's storytelling, y'all. You gotta tell your story. And this was a very difficult thing because some of these stories were stories that are usually seem to be shameful, right? But through this process, we're showing the process. When you storytell and then you connect with your elected officials. And I know for us in our community, elected officials, we don't be sure about y'all. Like, I mean, I respect both of y'all, but I gotta keep it real, right? We're not sure. But I'm hoping that this story shows people that there are elected officials that really care about us, right? And the real part to this is they can't create change without us. So being at the table, we understood, like, it was difficult getting these bills passed. Like, y'all saw, like, some of them people was not, we had to really come tell our stories. And Donna Hilton, our sister, oh, man, when I said she threw the 3-shot at the end, because it was looking crazy for 5 minutes. And we was able to use storytelling in real time to create change. So I will say that there's some people in this room that got stories, and you've been holding on to your story. You're not sure if your story is important. You're not sure that your story can create change. But I'm here today to tell you it can. Use it. Use it or you lose it, right? So a part of this story was just to amplify the part of storytelling. Please get out there. Share your story. There's organizations that you're setting up. We have funders, right? I got a couple of my how many of y'all fund me in the bill? A couple of my funders in the bill, right? There's funders. There are people that really want to help us, but you have to connect in, and you got to know the process. So education is generally what eliminates us out the process. So we don't know what to do. So we have great ideas. We want to start things, but we don't know what to do. But I'm hoping that this story shows you that there are people that care, even you, Helen, right? That care, and that you can be connected with the resources and the real system to create change. So that's what I would say.
And I would like to add to this. Look, it took us, we met maybe about 2 years ago through a mutual friend, and then the clock started to tick. But let me tell you, there's legislation that it takes 10 years, 12 years to pass. So Dr. Davis said this earlier, nothing but God. Like, during the documentary, we're advocating, right? We're using the voice. We're reaching out. And there's another group of people on this side who's doing the work. And then all of a sudden, we all came together. Nothing but God. So it amplified what we were doing. So when you come to me with a problem, don't just give it to me. Right. Come to me with the solution. That's what they did, because I had no idea. But they came. She came with a whole arsenal of people, like Donna over there and Cass. And they were like, this is what we need. So I use what they did to do the legislation, but they didn't stop. They came down to testify, right? They were making calls. So we have to work collectively using the story and any other tool that we can have in that toolbox to make sure that it comes to fruition.
So empowerment isn't just a word. Empowerment is also an environment. You can't empower women and then send them back to the same conditions that disempowered them. So, that means stable housing. A lot of my empowerment started while I was incarcerated. My mom answered the call every time when I called. My nieces, didn't forget about me. My sister my village took care of my son. You know, they kept me empowered, you know, because I knew I was coming back to love. It wasn't all peaches and creams, clearly, you know, I've come from some brokenness. But this is what my empowerment looks like for me. So providing an employment opportunity, helping a sister apply for an application, being in spaces where you know you're the plug and you can connect them to resources without them even having to ask. You know, offering me a ride if I need to get to the job. You know, those are things that are tangible that really hold more truth in our walk. You know, and just hire her. Don't judge her by her past. You know, give her the opportunity to show up in her best authentic self. Pray for her. You know, take her hand and don't just walk behind her, walk alongside her, you know, and just continue to just rally around her.
Chief, is there anything you'd like to add?
So in terms of empowerment, what I see working on the inside is really helping a sister get to acknowledge her truth. And that's really challenging because we have unrealistic expectations about somebody who's coming home. And those who are coming home sometimes have unrealistic expectations about what they can expect from their family. And so we really push that issue of accepting and acknowledging your truth, because when you do that, that's empowering. To sit in that space and to call it for what it is, that's the only way you're going to get to the next step. We can't have this fictitious, flowery, it's going to be a Cosby Show moment when you walk out that door. Cosby Show was a 30-minute series. This is your life. And so it becomes really empowering when they acknowledge that truth and they work through those hard issues. And you know, I see it. I mean, this is what empowerment looks like. I have some in the back, what empowerment looks like, those who left. And so when they're in that space of their truth and their true identity, it's an amazing feeling for them and for those of us who do this work.
And I know they're sifting through the questions right now, but while they're doing that, I just want to say I did hear another call to action in here. Obviously, we have some funders in the room. Also, obviously, keep investing in these nonprofit organizations. But for those of you that make a choice with your individual giving, where to write those checks, no check is too small. These are nonprofit organizations, and you can invest in them as well. And whether it's drives, you're connected to service organizations, you're connected to sororities, you're connected to ERGs in your companies. Have them do drives for what they need. That also helps with the bottom line of their budget, in-kind services. And volunteer your time. Volunteer your time. You know, telling your story doesn't just happen. It happens because of programs like Rituals for Return and other organizations that are spending the time to help cultivate those stories, like Meet Her at the Gate and the work that Dr. Davis is doing as well. Do we have a question for the audience you'd like me to ask? Yes. I could see the big deliberation going. Okay, this one is for Dr. Sessoms. As more county correctional facilities continue to contract with each other and house inmates from other counties, how is New Jersey ensuring that reintegration services are being made available to all inmates incarcerated in county and out of county?
So that's a great question, and I want to frame it with, in my role, I only handle the state correctional system. The county correctional system is independently owned and operated by each county. But I do think it is important that the counties begin to look at the model that we set for NJDOC and incorporate those services at the county level. It's not that hard. You just have to get the right team together to begin to address the traumas on the inside, and you have to commit to the funding. Here's the bottom line. In a very tight fiscal year where tough decisions are going to have to be made about what stays and what goes, they're going to have to see the return on investment. And I tell you, when you invest in working and healing through trauma for these women, the return on investment is there. The recidivism goes down. And so the county facilities are going to have to begin to look at that. And I'm happy to share with them our model because it's working.
Thank you. So we have a few questions here about the film. I'm going to see if I can cluster them together. One of them is, where can we see it and have others see it, was the one question. And related to, they're curious as to some of the challenges that you had in terms of making the documentary. What you know, I think we know it's not easy to make a film.
Thank you for asking that. And I could not have done this without I have two amazing individuals that helped me. One is my director, J. Love Cauldron. She's not here, but let's give a shout out to her. Yes, J. Love. And I have a good friend who is also Justice Impacted. Her name is Topeka K. Sam. She's also an executive producer on this project with me, so let's give it up to her. But this film, just so you guys know, this was a love note from me to my sisters. I funded this 100% out of pocket, right? So I don't have a grant, no funding. There was nothing on this. This was just a faith walk. It's something that God gave me a charge to do. And it wasn't easy because I don't know all of the things about filmmaking, but I am a filmmaker now, so I can put that, down on my resume. But for me, it was more so about the advocacy. That's why we're talking and leading with the advocacy work, because I'm an activist. I love to do advocacy work, but I saw the beauty in filmmaking, and I think you guys got to see the beauty too when we're able to actually the art of storytelling. So I learned that in the process of this, and I think the challenge was not knowing what God was going to do or not. So when you're telling a film, you don't know what the end or the outcome is going to be, right? One of the things we was waiting for, it's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, but we're waiting for our sister Natasha to come home, right? She got clemency, for those of you guys that saw in the film. And she took a chance. She's sharing her story, and we have blocks. Everybody ain't want us to tell our story, right? But we told our story, and then we just got to see God in the midst of it. And literally, I thought it was done. I spent the last of my little coins, and I had to open my pocketbook back up because we had another part going, right? So I guess for myself, one of the things that I do want to help people do is storytell. So we got to figure that out and figure out funding for those of you guys who have great stories and want to do advocacy work like we did.
I think it's safe to say we hope this isn't your last film, and that we know there's more stories
Y'all
to
done got
tell.
me warmed up now.
Yes. So I'll ask, I think, how many more questions do we have time for? You tell me. 3. Okay. So I like this question because it says, thinking about your younger selves, and, some of the issues that happened that brought you, and, others to, end up being just and impacted. What did you need at those ages? What systems can we create that are preventative to stop the path, to be the pathway? What would have helped both of you? And then Senator and Dr. Sessoms, what might be, areas that we can rally around?
It's self-confidence. Even though I was this person who was, a beautiful person, I didn't see the beauty in me. And that first bad relationship that I had, and, I had abuse in my home, and different things happening, it tore my self-esteem to pieces. So I didn't believe in myself like I should have. Because if I would have loved myself and believed in myself like I should have, I wouldn't have went down the path that I did. So I want you guys to make an investment in your kids. Please let them know how beautiful they are. Please let them know how special they are, how kind they are. Lift them up with your words and make sure that they really understand and know that, because that is going to be their protection.
Yeah, Sorry, that's heavy. Silence was something that I was riddled with as a child. I wish I gave my mom more, I wish I empowered her by being brave to tell her what was going on, not just assuming that it was a cultural thing or we kind of had to just, whatever happened in the house had to stay in the house. You know, I'm now breaking generational cycles in my family, and I wish that I just had the capacity to talk to her so I can, you know, empower her to show up for me. I saw that the women in our family, we were all hurt. We were all going through things, and, you know, I wanted to be a good daughter and make, you know, keep the peace, but it hurt me more than it helped me. And then when I started crashing out as an adult, people didn't understand why. You know, I was labeled the bad girl and the bad person. You know, I think that we need to try to figure out how to just be brave, you know, and that's something that I think that families need to work on. I'm grateful for the journey that I had to go through, because I don't think I'll be sitting here being able to, you know, be a witness to it. But I do think that as women, we need to empower our mothers too, and talk to our moms to see, for them to show up for us the way that we needed them to.
I was sitting here thinking, you know, for a black mom, we work, have to put food on the table. Some of us may have 2, 3 jobs. So the time that we should have with our children, we're always constantly running to keep the roof over the head and the food on the table. So what we as a culture should begin to do is have dinner at the kitchen table. And that's where the conversations can start, even if we just sit in silence. But we're in 2026, and we have the phones and the devices, right? So that kitchen table, even, I don't care if it's your living room table or just need a table, right? But we need to begin to have those conversations at the kitchen and just let it flow, so that you as a mother can talk and you as a daughter can also talk.
So important. Anything you'd like to add, Doctor?
So what came to mind is that we need to have more courageous conversations. It's similar to what the senator was saying. We have to have those courageous conversations with our kids, with our daughters, with our sons, and we have to create those spaces. Also, I just have to say this also because it's on my heart. We have to stop leaving our kids with everybody. Okay. Could we stop doing that? You know, This is a cold world, and I've seen inside the correctional facility, I'm just gonna be honest, I gotta sit up, now I'm gonna be honest. I've seen some real killers, okay, and what they have done to children. And so we have to stop entrusting our children with just any old everybody, even though you only met them 6 months ago, okay? That is not safe. And then the children begin to think that because this relationship means so much to you, that anything they tell you counter to that relationship is going to create problems between you and them. We have to let our kids know nobody's word is going to come over yours. Nobody's word. And when they tell you something, believe them. When they tell you something, believe them. Real quick, I recently gave up a 20-year friendship with somebody. Her daughter told her something that happened to her, and she didn't believe that child. But she came to me and she told me as the auntie, and I was ready to do some things I can't say publicly. When the children tell you something, believe them. So we have to have courageous conversations with our kids. We have to know our kids when they start acting differently. They've become withdrawn. All of a sudden, they want to change their appearance. They're not talking anymore. They're withdrawn. What's going on? And ask those questions. So we need more courageous conversations. And last thing I'm gonna say about this too, we have to also realize too that sometimes we can't have a conversation with mom because mom is still broken from her trauma. So those are things that I would reference.
Yes. So I'm hearing in all of that too, though, we need money obviously for more mental health services. We need money for empowerment services for our girls, and places and spaces to help moms pour into healing circles, all of that. So I was told we can have one more question because we are we're getting a little over time, but I think this is a great one. The question was really for Cass and Dr. Davis. What was the process like for you to kind of reframe your own messages in your brain, and what you were telling yourself when you ended up going into the system to help you kind of be honest with yourself and do the work? So what was that like? What did you say to yourself in your head to change your thinking?
So for me, I was a people pleaser because I was seeking attention, and that, because I didn't have that self-esteem within me, I used people, places, and things. So when it got stripped away from me, I was forced to face my demons. And in that space, I didn't want to stay there anymore. And it's like I heard the voice of God. It's like you sink or you swim. So I had to heal and find something good in my situation. And so that's my mindset. So I'm not a problem person. I'm a solution-focused person, right? I see the glass half full instead of half empty. Instead of seeing it as a problem, I'm like, what can we do? This is how this film came about. So I'm a person who always kind of shapes that in my mind to see the good in every situation. And I believe that as much as there's bad, I think that's in the Quran, that God has like an equal reward. So meaning as much as bad is there, it could be good. So it's up to you to see it and to shape it that way.
As many times I was incarcerated, I knew that I never really belonged there. I mean, I had people see me and say, "What are you doing here? You don't look like you belong here." So I never fit the picture like many of our sisters. And I also realized at a young age that I was carrying on trauma that didn't even belong to me. And I think that in itself really made me go determined to do the work, because I'm like, these were cards that were dealt to me way before that I didn't even understood. I've seen my mom be sad but cook a dinner every day, but I know there was things going on that she couldn't unpack to me. So I knew that things that were happening was based on the circumstances. And when I started getting incarcerated, sisters were looking to me for guidance. Like, I still came in with the light. It never got dimmed, ever. I had no infractions. I always was the sis that was come to Jesus moment, let's kumbaya. I was already book smart. So I can sit with sisters and, we will pass time just building and navigating our dreams. And I knew that I had a purpose. It was unfortunate that it had to go through the trajectory of incarceration, but that was my calling. I had to go through some things to get this far. And I think that that's why I never really sweated the small stuff, because I do not look like what I used to go through. I really have to tell you my story for you to really sit there. People see my glory, but they don't know my story until I tell you my story. And I think that I changed, my skin is different. I don't even feel like I'm a victim. I'm a victor, I'm a true survivor, and I'm excited that I'm here to speak truth to power today, you know. And it took my village, because no matter our circumstances, I came from a very family with a lot of good pride, good stock. You know, my mother never missed a meal, never missed a commissary. She didn't come visit me because, you know, she was mad, but she was there when I got out. She was at the gate for me, you know. So these are the things that I knew that some of my sisters needed.
And I could tell the way that question was written that we have someone in the audience who's trying to redo those tapes for themselves. So I hope that this was powerful and helpful for you to be able to do that. So as we close, we're just going to ask each of our panelists here to give us a quick rapid fire. You know, you're all here because you want to help. One thing that we can all do tomorrow morning when we get up to be able to help.
Be someone who does not judge.
So be someone that takes action.
Please stop holding her past hostage. Forgive her.
And I would say public service is not about you.
It's on.
Oh,
Okay.
where can people see the film?
The film part. So let's talk about that. So now we're in the midst of getting distribution. So I'm learning this as a filmmaker. Y'all got to work with me now, right? So you spend all this money, you make a beautiful film, and thank you, NJPAC, for giving us the opportunity to screen it, right? So shout out to you guys. So now we are shopping a distro deal, right? We're doing the film circuit where, you know, you have to go out, you have to get your awards, and you got to get the Netflixes of the world to wave at you. So we're in the process. And what y'all think about the film? Y'all like the film? Yes. So we're entering into different film festivals, and we do believe that we're going to get but look at the storyline, all of the things. So pray for us, keep pushing us, and me and my team, we are working diligently to get distribution for this film.
Well, please, another round of applause for our wonderful panel. Thank you all for being here. We hope you get home safe.
Before you all leave, we do have a couple of announcements we want to share with you. And most importantly, we want to really thank everyone in this panel and thank all of you for coming out this evening. I want to remind you, we are Performing Arts Center. We have lots of great shows coming up. So please come and visit us. Next month, our Standing in Solidarity will be Caring for Caregivers. So I know that touches a lot of people's lives.